we've selected a few comments that have been left on our YouTube channel at GREE Comfort. Be sure to check that out, like and subscribe and all that. We're trying to get that gold icon for our YouTube channel, so I can put
Yeah,
it on
exactly.
me. I'm sure we
You'll
could
be the one that
superimpose
wins it,
one.
James.
Yeah, we could superimpose one right here, but I mean, you want to earn it, right? No, that's not the goal. It's we got a lot of good information on there. I mean, unfortunately, I'm in a lot of those videos. I don't know if you want to see me that much, but hey, we got some great people in those videos, so check those out. A lot of the questions that you have been answered. We don't mind answering them again, but they're definitely there. So you're in the field or something, or maybe even you got a call coming up on a piece of equipment you're not that familiar with. You can take a look at those videos, have some answers. You know, the customer never needs to know that you watched a YouTube video about it before you got there, right? All right, so on the video hands-on GREE FLEXX installation and troubleshooting from at Gringo Loco 4570, is it okay to dip switch outdoor unit to 4-ton with 5-ton air handler? Okay, so in reference to the FLEXX product, right? There are dip switches where you can change the capacity of the outdoor unit and change the blower profile of the indoor unit. And what they're asking is, can they speed up the blower? Is effectively what they're asking. Go ahead, Daniel. Looks like you already got some thoughts on that, so have at it.
Well, that kind of goes back to the conversation that we had earlier about making sure that something is matched properly, right? So if you're switching the outdoor unit to 4-ton and you have a 5-ton air handler, then it's not necessarily matched properly. Now, I understand the thinking behind it. Comes from a long line of heating and air people that would install a 2-ton outdoor unit with a 2.5-ton indoor coil, right? But eh, I get that the half-ton switches might need to be made. Like, hey, let's say the indoor is a 4.5-ton, and you want to put that outdoor unit, set it to 4-ton, right? That makes a lot of sense. But if you got a 4-ton indoor, you got a 4-ton outdoor. That would be the proper match.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, rabbit hole it is. Okay. All right. This is what we're doing. All right. So
oh, here we go.
I know. Yeah. Right. All right. So when we're talking about that 2.5-ton replacement system, right? Let's just call it a 2.5-ton because 4.5 is kind of an odd size. Even though a lot of 5-tons you buy now are 4.5. Just go look that up. Figure
Yeah,
that one out.
yeah.
Yep.
Not ours. So anyway, well, depending on the model, but anyway, so depends on the model. But anyway, so if I have a if I've got a 2.5-ton I'm replacing, I go, okay, well, airflow wise, all I need is 2.5 tons worth of airflow. So if you're looking at it, that's, usually most people might consider that, 1,000 CFM, 2.5 tons, right? So they go, okay, well, I don't have a 2.5-ton outdoor unit to put with it, so I could either grab a 2-ton or I can grab a 3-ton. Okay. Well, do I want it to work properly on a hot day? Yes. So I might choose a larger outdoor unit. I might choose a 3-ton outdoor unit. And this is something that we've addressed before in the past in some of our videos in reference to the FLEXX and setting those dip switches. What I would recommend, and Daniel and Jesus, you can correct me if I'm wrong, what I'd recommend is that you could pick a CFM that would more closely match that 1,000 CFM that you would normally be looking for, but use a 3-ton outdoor unit. And you might even be able to set it up as the eco mode, right?
Yep. You certainly can. Yeah.
And what eco mode does is it changes that amount of time it takes to ramp up, right? If I put it in strong mode, it ramps up faster, right? It ramps up,
Right.
tries to get to its
Right.
max capacity faster. If I go eco mode, it does the exact opposite. It will try its best to slowly but surely ramp up. And in that case, if you set it for eco mode and it's a 3-ton unit, then maybe it doesn't have to hit a max speed by the time it satisfies the thermostat. Okay. But in this case, we're kind of going the opposite direction. In this case, we're trying to provide more CFM than what most would want to design around. It could be that you're adding filtration, and you're trying to, you're going to end up having to look at a much higher static application than you wanted. So you're trying to deliver, trying to change that blower profile so that you can get the CFM you need at a given static pressure. It could be something that you're doing there. You could be in a very dry environment where you're not so much worried about humidity removal. Because remember, the slower that blower is, it changes the profile overall of the sensible heat ratio. That is to say, like I might have better latent heat removal, better humidity removal when I have a slower blower, as most of our friends in the Southeast can attest to. I slow that blower down some, I got a colder coil, I get more water out, that kind of thing, because that's very important in those areas, right?
Right.
So in this case, there's only a very few, very special instances where I would want to use instead of 1600 CFM roughly, where I would be trying to get like 2000 CFM, you know? So I'd probably just do the 4 ton with a 4 ton setup in that
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.